one of your lovely bras has just gone flying like a kite back there. You can go and save it. Shows how durable it is. Now, last but by no means least, we have got Heather Harries. Now, Heather Harries is one of our fantastic supporters, and she's here to support us with education, some of those decisions that we make, curriculums, universities, GCSE, exam stress, all of those things. There's nothing that you can't ask her. We absolutely love her, so we're going to finish with Heather. Let's give her a round of applause.
Thank you very much, everyone. I kind of dread these days because people say, "Oh, what's your name?" And I say Heather, and we continue the conversation. They go, "Heather Harris," and I go, "Yeah," because I'm never quite sure whether it's good or bad. But I'm here to talk about teenagers. We do everything with teenagers. I'm a mum of 4. I'm now an empty nester, and I have to say it's the best years of my life. I think we're supposed to miss when my daughter went to university. Helen Farmer said, "Come and talk about being an empty nester." And I sat next to her and said, "Helen, you're supposed to look sad." "Oh, okay then." But I'm not. I had done something like 32 years of packed lunches. I was over it. I was out the door with them at the same time. So basically what I thought we'd do is we'd talk a little bit, round up what everyone else has said, just a tiny bit, because you all know what I do, you're actually bored with education. So let's just talk about teenagers. Now, the good thing about having a teenager is you probably never had grey hair until they became 13. When they became 13, you became grey. And I write this column, which I don't think anyone actually reads, every week on British Mums, but I write it because I quite enjoy writing.
We do read it.
Thank you. Anyway, and what I always say is trust the process. Even those really horrible people you're in school with, they've turned out okay. So when you look at your kids, if you think, "Oh my God, they're an absolute SH1T," they'll be fine. They will be fine. Trust the process. And I speak from experience because I have one of those. Though from the British Embassy point of view, I sent him back to the UK before he got me thrown out of the country because he was so off the wall. And I knew that was safer for him. I put him into West Wales, where the only thing he had done to get expelled was sheep rustle, which he did. Of course he did. So, it's like I have been there, I've got 4 kids, and they've all turned out okay. 2 of the boys are seriously dyslexic, they've got ADHD, we went through those hurdles, and what I realised was, do you know what? Results don't matter. It doesn't matter how they do, what matters is what they do. And I think we all get very focused on that end result. And actually, yes, we do need doctors and lawyers, but we also need normal people. So don't get over-focused on, my child must pass every test, they must pass every exam. Yes, they must get GCSE, English, maths and science, that's really helpful. But the rest of it is just noise. They will make their way, they will do what they want to do. And I quite often say when we're talking to parents, how many of you use the degree you got when you were in university? No. Exactly. You went to university, you grew up, you enjoyed it, but did you use that qualification? No. So don't get overhung up. I spent hours on the phone with parents who are losing their lives because my child doesn't know what they want to do. I don't know what I want to do, and I'm 56. So does it really matter if my child at 16 doesn't know what they want to do? No, because it's how they do things. It's not what they do. It's what they get out of life. It's what they give back to people, what they give back to the community. There's nothing better than somebody saying, "Your child is really lovely." I don't care if they've got A's. Are they lovely? And if they're not now, they will be. Don't worry, because we trust the process. So just remember. We always talk, last week, if anyone read my column, which I know they didn't, I talked about communication. And what I do when I write the column is I pick up from the questions people have asked me during the week. So this one's about communication. And when I pick the phone up and a mum is on the phone and they're saying, "Oh, my child, they're just not writing, their writing's really untidy, they use no words, they can't write anything down." They go, "Okay, it's a boy and they like sport, I know that's coming next." And it invariably is. Because men don't communicate. We just need to go home and talk to our husbands to know that men don't communicate. It's built into them. It's scientifically proved that men don't speak. So if we go back, I don't know if anyone have read the book Men Are From Mars and Women From Venus. Well, Alan Pierce also wrote another lovely book, which basically was called Why Women women can't read maps. No, why men can read maps and women can't park cars. And it's basically true. But if you take that back to sort of way, way, way back to the start of human life, basically, men used to hunt. So they go out and they bring back the food, but they only use their right hands to throw their spears. So men know the difference between right and left. How many people in this room can confidently say you know the difference between right and left? I can't. Well, you work, you're a gymnast, forget it. I can't. I still don't know the right and left. So when we're driving, my husband will go, we're going that way, because he knows that if he says right or left, there's not a cat in hell's chance I'll go right or left. But it's true, men used one hand, so they know what that is, because it's one hand. We used two hands. We were multi-talented. Women were talking, because we didn't need to go and hunt silently. We talked around the fire, we collectively gathered, we used two hands. So we're good communicators. If your husband goes out with his mates and he comes back and you go, how's John? What's he up to? What does your husband say? Oh, he's fine. How's his wife? Well, I don't know, we didn't talk about that. Well, what are the kids doing? Well, I don't know, we didn't talk about that. Well, what did you talk about? Well, nothing really, we just... Yeah, exactly, men don't communicate. Now, when we're then talking about communication with kids, boys don't communicate. It's not a natural process for them. Now, that doesn't mean they can't pass English, it doesn't mean they can't get good at communicating, but it's not a natural process. So do we need to overthink it? Do we need to worry about it? The answer is no. They will be fine. Trust the process. When we come to GCSEs, which is what we all stress about, exams are meant to be passed. There is no exam that's written to ensure you fail. I know we go in with this fear of dread, but basically, exams are meant to be passed. So why do we get so stressed about it? And if we don't pass them, does the world end? Of course it doesn't. So don't panic. We get a lot of people, obviously my company, just in case you don't know, I'm doing a plug because I think that's what I'm here for. We do tutoring and education. And lots of people phone up and they say, oh, we need a tutor. Out of people that phone up, I guess there's 20% I say, I'm not tutoring you. And they're going to go, well, why? Because you don't need that support. I had a lady yesterday who phoned up and she said, my daughter needs a tutor for A-level maths. She's sitting on a 5 for her GCSE and she wants to A-level maths. The natural, and the school is saying that's fine. No, it's not fine. Why is she doing A-level maths if she hates it so much? Why is she being forced to do A-level maths? Well, she thinks she might like to be an architect. So she thinks she might like to go into a career that's going to revolve around a subject she doesn't enjoy. Is that a good career choice? Is that the right route to force somebody? So I had to say to someone, I said, I'm really sorry, I am not ethically willing to take this as a job, because yes, I can help her get an 8, I can get her a 9, I'm not worried about that. I know we have the skills and I know your daughter's capable. But not to go on to do A-level maths, where she's going to need tutoring for the next 2 years through maths, and will then need it again through university, and will then do a course she doesn't want to do. We're setting her up to fail. So when we talk to our children, the world is changing. If they want to do something, of course they should do it. And I was, years ago, parents should say, or a child would say, I want to be a footballer. And the parent would go, no, let's have a plan B, because that's not a good plan to be a footballer. Why is it not a good plan? What right have I got as a parent to say, you can't do that? And I have to say I did it with my child. My child wanted to play rugby for Wales, which was one of the reasons for sending him back before he got suspended and expelled from school and everything else. But when he wanted, and I used to say to him, okay, we need a plan B. We definitely need a plan B, because this isn't going to happen, honey. You're just not going to happen. I mean, it didn't, but it wasn't because I told him it would. But he persevered. Now, I went out for dinner with a friend who's a very famous footballer, and I just said, what was your plan B? He said, I never had a plan B. I didn't need a plan B, because my plan A was to be a footballer. And he was a very famous footballer. He played captain of France and Manchester United. I have no idea. His name's Patrice Evra, if you follow football. I don't know anything about football. I sat next to him for 3 hours and had no idea who he was, but that's a different conversation. But we don't have a right to tell our children they can't do something, because your child can be and do anything they want to do. And don't ever think they can't. They have the opportunity to be able to take on the world. The only thing that will ever stop them is their mind. So, I'm just going to finish and just say very quickly that when I started school, I got a twin sister who was super bright. I was never bright. I hated school. I hated education. I thought I was really stupid. I set up a company in the UK basically because I didn't think anyone would ever employ me. So I thought, well, I'll work for myself. And within 5 years, I was the British Businesswoman of the Year. I worked for Prince Charles, I headed up 2 of his committees, I came out here, I worked as an advisor to the ruler. And that's from somebody who failed their GCSEs because I didn't believe in myself. Passed my degree, passed my A-levels, but it's about belief. And the best thing we can give our kids is belief in themselves and believe they can do anything. The old saying, aim for the moon because you'll always end up the stars, is true whatever. So don't ever tell your children they can't do something. Don't ever say to them they won't make it. They will, they absolutely will, and you are there to support them and help them on their way. So, we have an education company. I'm doing the plug. Come and see us. If you want us to help your children, we're always here. And I am always on the phone to chat and advise. I've been there, I've seen it, I've done it. I've got the t-shirt. I've got four kids, 3 delinquents, 1's okay.